Welcome to Lombardi's Legends podcast. Dane here with Wags, and we've got a very, very special guest today. Wags, we had the chance to talk with Green Bay Packers running back Patrick Taylor.
Yeah, just a really nice young man, first of all, and awesome always to talk to a member of the Packers. First time we've gotten into the running back room, so we were both, I know, really excited to talk to Patrick. Listen, this is a guy that came in last year. We knew he was not going to be able to be on the field because he was hurt coming into the process, but he's been working hard, and I'm really excited to see him out on the field. While we have a lot of young talent in that running back room and some guys that clearly have some positions locked down, I think it's going to be really interesting to see that third, fourth running back. They have to be ready, and they're going to be competing, and you just never know with injuries when they might be called into action. So Patrick is a guy that I know that he's going to be working his tail out there in camp and in the preseason, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, and Wags, I mean, you mentioned some of the young backs we have, but I think all bets are off right now on that third running back spot. And if they keep four, then really look out. Not really sure how that the depth's going to look this year, but a guy I think Packer fans are going to be excited about when they actually see him on the field. He's a very tough back, smart running back as well, and he's bigger than I think a lot of people might expect. He's around 215, so he's a big back as well. Maybe not as big as A.J. Dillon, but who is. But he's a big, smart running back and a guy who I think has a real opportunity to earn a spot on the roster.
Absolutely. And, there are, with the running backs, there are going to be certain packages that you can earn your way onto the field. We talked a little bit about what he might be able to contribute on special teams. That's one thing that you can do to differentiate yourself. But, we don't necessarily have that guy that's proven he's the third down back. Now, certainly, I have a lot of confidence that Dillon and Aaron Jones are going to carry most of those, situations. However, sometimes you just need that third guy to come in and spell. Again, even sans injury. So, hopefully we can stay healthy this year with the running backs. But I think it's going to be, Patrick's going to be right in the mix to see if he can compete and if he can do those things and prove that he's a able pass blocker, can pick up some of those packages, maybe get a little bit of a different look out there. He's someone that I think could be right in the mix. So I'm excited to see what he can do. One thing before we get to the interview, I know we're going to get to that here. I had some technical difficulties getting on with this one, but we wanted to obviously respect Patrick's time. So Dane did do the majority of this interview, but we did some editing with some of the interviews to splice this together and make sure that we could get that put together for you guys. So I just wanted to put that out there up front. So if you notice that as you are watching the interview, probably not so much if you're just listening, but anyway. So Dane, any other thoughts on this one or any other thoughts on
easy guy to root for, Wags. He's an easy guy to root for. I hope folks enjoy this interview as much as I think we did working with he and his team to get him on the podcast. It was really exciting. And I hope folks enjoy it today.
For sure. So thanks for listening and go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go. With us now, we've got an incredibly special guest, Green Bay Packer running back Patrick Taylor. Patrick, welcome to Lombardi's Legends podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thanks for joining. We're recording just a couple weeks here before training camp, so you're a busy guy. So excited to have you on. Listen, first question we always ask our special guests. I've got to ask you, man, Patrick, how does it feel to be a Green Bay Packer?
Oh man, it's a blessing to have gone to such a great, prestigious organization as such. I couldn't have asked to go to a better organization, such as the Green Bay Packers. They have um, so much history, and yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this organization.
Well, listen, we're excited to have you as a part of this organization. I can say we as a Packer shareholder. I think technically I can say we are very excited to have you here in Green Bay. And how's it been so far? You were around last season as well. I know you've had some dealt with some adversity through some injuries. But what was your first impression of Green Bay? And how have you gotten acclimated to your time in Wisconsin so far?
Oh, first impression was it's not a whole lot going on. It's just football, and it gets really cold. But my first experience, first last year, there at Green Bay was great. Being able to learn from the guys such as Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, and just pick up knowledge from those guys, and understand the playbook, and the main thing was for me to get healthy. So being able to work with Nate and Flea, the training staff, to get me back right. So I'm excited for this upcoming season, for me to finally get out there and compete.
And if you don't mind my asking, what do you think the adversity that you've had to overcome will mean for you as you move forward, both maybe on the field, first of all, and this opportunity you have coming up with camp, actually having a preseason, which we're really excited to see you guys out there on the field, but just in general, do you think what you've had to deal with is there any one thing that you're taking out of that you think you can apply to not only this just upcoming camp and the opportunity you have in front of you, but just overall?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the adversity that I endured, I definitely think it's given me the opportunity to sit back and be grateful for everything that I have. Be grateful to play this game of football. Be grateful to be, with my family. I would say during that time of adversity, it helped me be a better teammate, a better leader to my teammates, such as at Memphis, and also be a better fiance, a better son, a better brother. So, I mean, during that time of adversity, I mean, it's just helped me tremendously, in having a different perspective on life, I would say, because it could always be worse. I remember going in for an MRI, updated MRI after my surgery, MRI, X-ray, and there was this guy sitting right next to me, and he had all these surgeries on his leg, almost lost his leg, lost one of his legs, but almost lost both of his legs. And he went on to tell me his story. I was like, man, like, that helps you switch the perspective of like, you don't have it as bad as he has it, and he's still thankful and sharing his story with me, sharing his testimony with me. So I just use my testimony as, motivation, and also as for somebody else when they go through an injury or when they go through some adversity.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, do you feel good now? Do you feel healthy? Or you think you'll be ready to go for training camp?
Absolutely, for sure.
Good.
Sure.
That's exciting. I got to tell you, when we were able to bring you in last year, was really, really excited. You're I mean, I don't want to speak for you. You're a big back, though. I mean, you seem to have a lot of speed as well. For those that aren't maybe as well acquainted with your work at Memphis, what kind of running back do you style yourself after? What's kind of your game, so to speak?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't style my game after any particular running back, I like to think of myself as, unique. I would like to say, I'm my own running back, just because I don't really like to get into comparisons and, comparing myself to like some, Hall of Famer or something like that. I love their games. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I feel like I bring a number of things to my game, whether that's being patient in the hole, being able to run inside, outside the tackles, and being able to move like I move as a big guy, being able to catch the ball out of the backfield and run wide receivers routes as well. So, and also, contributing on all four phases of special teams. So.
Yeah, and I feel like to make the roster in the NFL, a lot of guys end up making on special teams, right? At least that's how they get their foot in the door. Curious, do you have a lot of experience playing special teams in your past? Is that something that, without giving away any trade secrets from minicamp, but, were you involved in any of the special teams, any of those phases during these last minicamps?
Yeah, absolutely. We worked a bunch of special teams units there in mini camp and training camp, whether it was punt return, kickoff, and kickoff return. And I had some experience of that back in Memphis. I did that all 4 years there in Memphis, so I have some experience in that regard.
I think, one of the things that we're always so interested in addition to talking football with you guys when you come on, is just a little bit more about your personal story. So, if you don't mind sharing a little bit, what's your journey been like before you got to the NFL, and maybe just a little bit about, who you are as a person when you're not, dialed in on the football field.
My journey in my path to the NFL has been by no means of an easy one. It's been kind of a tough journey. Going 3 years of being injury free, and then senior year, first game of the season, going out with the Liz Frank injury in my foot, and bouncing back from that, coming back later part of the year, going to the NFL Combine, letting me know that I'm going to have to get another surgery done. Had another surgery done, and then rehabbed the whole year last year. So, I mean, it was by no means you just be like, that's an open book, where you say that's the journey you got to take to get to the NFL. But, I mean, I feel like it's molded me into the person I am today. And that adversity has helped me tremendously, not only with my mental, but also physical, and being grateful for the opportunity at hand. So.
See, and it makes it so interesting. You're a really easy guy to root for. Not only is your playing style phenomenal, but you're just you're a good guy, right? So, I think that fans are really going to enjoy. I think rooting for you, and I guess the question is, who are you outside of the game? Do you have any other passions? I know football can be all-consuming these days. I imagine with the playbooks that are probably, folks that can't see me, my hands are very wide right now. But outside of the game of football, what kinds of things take up your time?
Oh, well, man, I'm a huge family man. Speaking of, like, all my family's actually in the next room,
Cool.
just hanging out. So I've been up here in Austin, training and hanging out with family. I would say that's the best way to do it, to be around your family and, work out. There's nothing like it. I also have my fiance here with me. We're getting married next summer, so have that big date coming up.
Congratulations. How do you feel about that? I was married a couple of years ago. Best decision I ever made, but I was nervous, Patrick, before the big day. So do you feel good? Do you have any pregame jitters here?
No, I'm actually really excited to marry her. You know, she stuck with me through that time of adversity. And sticking by my side the whole time. So, I'm pretty excited to make her a part of the Taylor gang, as we would say. But yeah, on my and also on my off time, I like to play video games. I like to, dive in some Warzone and stuff like that. So
Cool. And how did you meet your fiance? If you don't mind me asking.
No. So we met. So she's from West Virginia. She went to Memphis to play soccer. We met at Memphis. And yeah, that's when the love trail started.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Are you used to the cold? You mentioned the cold weather. So I looking at your bio, you're a guy who grew up in Texas, one played ball in Memphis, which I don't necessarily think is always that cold. And now you find yourself in Green Bay where it can get real cold real quick.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Going from Houston, Texas, where it's super hot, you're playing ball in high school. Texas high school football is crazy. And going to Memphis, which is also hot. But I mean, it gets kind of cold in the winters. Not as cold as Green Bay, but we would practice outside in the cold where you get the numbing of the fingers and the numbing of the toes and stuff like that. But going to Green Bay, man, it gets cold for sure. When they say frozen tundra, they aren't lying.
Patrick, listen, we talked a little bit about football, but I'm curious as well. What kind of music's getting you hyped these days? And running through the tunnel when you're not playing ball, what gets you going?
Well, I listen to a number of artists when I'm getting in my zone, as I would say, like J. Cole or Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Future. I listen to a bunch of those guys just to get me in my zone.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you a movie guy as well? Any kind of movies that you're into?
I am into movies. I like the Marvel series. Big on the Marvel series. I'm actually going to see Black Widow today with my fiance, so pretty excited about that. Space Jam.
Oh, the old one, the new one's not out yet, is it?
The old one is vintage, so I'm excited to see what they do with the new one. Not sure what it's going to look like, but I'm pretty excited about that.
I'll tell you what, man. That the old one, I was a kid when that one came out, so I'm impressed that you actually have seen that one because that one's MJ. It's been a minute.
Yep. Yeah, that one's pretty. Yeah, that's vintage.
And Patrick, we know you have a movie date with your fiance. So I've got one last question I just wanted to ask you. What are your goals going into this season? What's your plan going into this season? It's a big year. You're going to one of the most talented teams, in the entire NFL, into year two for yourself. So what are your goals that you've set for yourself personally and as a teammate going into the 2021 NFL season?
My goals for this year is just to go in and compete. You know, help in every way that I can, whether that's special teams, in all phases. So, I mean, my goal is to just go out there and give my best, and I mean, I would say that's really it. And then if I go out and do that, the sky is the limit. And as a teammate, just continue to, I mean, just watch the leaders, such as Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, see how they lead by example, and follow. So I would say those are the things that I'm focused on with this coming up season.
Yeah, and we'll be rooting for you out there. By the way, we're really excited to see you out there on the practice field and game action, like I said. So like Dane said, we want to let you go. Thank you so much for coming on. Before you leave, can you give us a Go Pack Go?
Go Pack Go!
Go Pack Go!
Thanks, Patrick. We appreciate you. Thank you to your agency and Julia Farron as well for helping set this up today. You all are great. Best in the business. Thanks, Patrick. Have a good evening.
There ain't no second place in the land.